In 2023, Turkey suspended the issuance of tourist residence permits on rent. Now you can get a residence permit on rent only if you had such a type of permit before, in other words, through its renewal. But how to stay to live in Turkey for a long time without getting citizenship? In our new video we'll list the ways. We will not discuss illegal stay. Tolerance Homes deals only with legal cases. So, all types of residence permits in Turkey. Subscribe to the channel, because there in our videos is the most complete and useful information about life, real estate and moving to Turkey. Let's talk first on the most reliable way to get a residence permit, but we won't forget the others. We know all the possible ways, and the main thing for us is to help our clients. The most reliable way to get a residence permit in Turkey for the first time: to buy real estate. The housing cost threshold for a residence permit has been raised, but it's still much lower than for a citizenship. It's now $200,000, and it doesn't matter where you intend to live. You can choose a city with our special review at this link. On rent and accommodation basis, new arrivals are almost never granted residence permits for now. Renewing previous residence permits is also reluctant, though this still can be done. Authorities are trying to reduce the number of immigrants, which almost doubled last year, to whom locals associate with a surge in prices. Though truly educated people understand that fuel and grocery prices, especially in the hinterland, are in no way connected to immigrants. Here's what's useful to understand. A tourist residence permit on renting is issued for a year or 6 months. But after 8 years of living with such a residence permit, you can apply for a long-term residence permit, also known as a permanent residence. It's like citizenship, but without the right to work and vote. Unlike European norms, in Turkey permanent residence is not a mandatory step before citizenship. If you have no legal issues, no debts, if you got a confirmed income, then after 8 years you can apply for a permanent residence permit. However, the government can change the rules anytime and cancel such a type of residence permit or tighten the conditions. By the way, the right to a permanent residence permit is lost by those who leave the country for a long time. An exception is made only for those who leave Turkey for medical treatment or education. Residence permits issued for both renting and buying property are considered short-term. A short-term residence permit is a very extensive category and the most popular one. In addition to renting accommodation and buying property, you can get a short-term residence permit for opening a business, participating in student exchange programs such as Erasmus, Mevlana, Farabi. Another basis may be medical treatment at a local clinic if you have no certain dangerous diseases, learning Turkish language under a government program, graduating from Turkish university. The application for a residence permit must be submitted within the first 6 months after graduating, work internships or scientific research on international agreements. All of these are grounds to obtain a short-term residence permit. In addition to the short term, there are other categories of residence permits in Turkey. Student, for foreign students in Turkish universities. Residence permits are usually granted for 1 year and should be renewed each year until the end of their studies. Humanitarian is granted, for example, to women with children who have become victims of domestic violence and cannot leave Turkey because of it. Long-term residence permit, or permanent residence, as Sergei mentioned. Permit for victims of human trafficking. It's a part of international protection program, issued for 6 months and can be extended up to 3 years. Family. It's issued to spouses and children of Turkish citizens. After 3 years with it, they can apply for citizenship. Residence permits for family reunification are also available to residence permit holders who want to bring their family here. For other relatives, parents, brothers and sisters, there's an option for a short-term residence permit on sponsorship. Those who want to bring their relatives to Turkey must act as sponsors and guarantees for them. They provide them with accommodation and guarantee financial support. You cannot become a sponsor if your residence permit is for less than a year. Holders of a student residence permit cannot become sponsors either. Another interesting point. According to the rules, family members who can be accepted under a family residence permit include children under the age of 18. However, the website of the Turkish Migration Service claims that in some cases, adult children can also obtain such a residence permit. It's allowed to change one type of residence permit to another over time. When you have lived in Turkey for 8 years legally, you can apply for a long-term residence permit. This cannot be done by holders of a humanitarian residence permit, refugees, and persons under protection. A residence permit doesn't give a right to work in Turkey. A special work visa is required for that. Violators face fines and deportation. However, remote work for a company from other country is not prohibited. Those who have been practically unaffected by residence permit refusals are students and hired specialists. You can still come to Turkey for education or for work on a contract. After all, there are still the same number of places for foreigners in Turkish universities, which means their economic influence hasn't changed. And foreign workers pay taxes and contribute to the national economy, so the authorities are not currently reducing the number of work visas. During the residence permit validity, you can freely enter and exit Turkey as many times as you like. Residence permit holders can open bank accounts, obtain state medical insurance, receive medical treatment under it, and get medicines at a discount. They can enroll their children in any school or university, make pension contributions, visit state museums almost for free, and get local driver's licenses. To get help with obtaining residence permit, you can always rely on Tolerance Real Estate Agency that has more than 20 years of experience and is rightfully considered a market leader. It's perhaps the only agency that provides a licensed lawyer free of charge to interact with immigration service. To find out how this works and why such a lawyer is needed, watch our video through this link. You can also find many other useful videos about life, real estate and moving to Turkey on our channel. Subscribe and ring the bell, where we know and talk about things that others don't.